Welcome back to Locked On Buffs. Appreciate you guys for tuning in every single day, making me your first listen of the day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow, so that way I keep my job, we keep having fun. And all of a sudden, Isaiah Augustave is back in the portal. So there's that. Led the team in rushing, 384 yards last season. He's a guy who was the player that Deion Sanders called out for tampering. It was reported that they had offered him a large sum of money, and Isaiah left the program. And I thought it was a detrimental loss simply because Colorado's running back room just hasn't been good, right? I think that's probably one of the most disappointing aspects of the Deion Sanders era is the lack of diversity in on the offense. It's been all pass, no run, right? They have yet to have a 1,000-yard runner. They've yet to have a running back eclipse 400 yards. They've 321 yards from Dylan Edwards during his freshman season was the leading rusher. And then this past year, Isaiah Augustave, 384 yards total on the year. They've yet to have a 100-yard rusher. They're not nowhere close to having a 1,000-yard rusher, obviously. And so it's just been one of those things where it's like, there's been proof. I forgot what the number was. I need to go back and count it. But Colorado this past year, I think for the long, if not throughout the entire season, was undefeated when they had a running back run the ball 14 or more times. And yet they were still unwilling to hey, Edward, it is live. How you doing? They were still willing to not run the ball, right? It was obvious, like, hey, the more balanced we get, the better we can do. And guess what? They decided to not do that. Now, obviously, I understand. You have Shedeur Sanders. You have 3 NFL caliber running backs, and you just 3 caliber NFL caliber wide receivers. So it makes sense why you want to throw the ball so much. But imagine how different the offense would have been had they chose to run the ball more. So losing Isaiah Augustave to me was a big loss. I know a lot of people brushed it off because he hadn't done much, but he was honestly, him and Michael Welch, I thought were the 2 best running backs for Colorado last year. I assumed with a better offensive line, I assumed with Marshall Faulk, and I assumed without Shedeur Sanders that they'd be running the ball more. And so I thought, hey, this is a prime time for Isaiah Augustave to pop off, maybe be the running back that Colorado needs. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, he left because he has a child and he wanted that NIL money. That's fine, right? The reports say that his credits didn't transfer from his previous school, so Arkansas and Colorado, to Virginia, which Virginia is one of the better academic programs, academic institutions. So it doesn't shock me that there's a little bit of a mix-up there. That being said, Isaiah Augustave is someone Colorado should definitely bring back, right? You need depth. I think they talked about bringing in 2 running backs or so, and they've lost more running backs than they brought in. They brought in Kalen Taylor, who I think has the opportunity to make an impact on both special teams and at running back for the Buffs. But other than that, that's it. They have Dallin Hayden, who's still there. They have Michael Welch, who's still there. Charlie Offerdahl, but I'm not impressed, or I won't say impressed, but nobody in this room's proven at this juncture and on this team at this moment, right? They may have done, like Kalen Taylor did some great things at Incarnate Word. Dallin Hayden was a highly touted recruit that has yet to do anything. Charlie Offerdahl is a coach prime favorite. Got the start last year in the first couple games. Has yet to really show that, like, hey, I could be a good running back. And then Michael Welch got banged up. I thought he was really good. Thought he should have been the starter if healthy, but they don't have any proven running backs. And so until they get an answer at this position, and no worries. The reason Isaiah Augustave is back in the portal, it seems, from what I was told, where his credits were not aligning at Virginia, which Virginia, like I said, sorry, someone in the comments asked for those, confused why I'm circling back. Virginia is one of the finer, better, more advanced or more prestigious academic institutions. And so it doesn't shock me that maybe it was Arkansas, maybe it was Colorado. I don't know. But his credits, there were some transferring issues. So he's back in the portal. He's available. And so the Buffs should probably kick the tires. Be like, you know what? No hard feelings, right? They brought back Jack Costera. He's a wide receiver who was actually a walk-on at Colorado, was a part of the team when Deion Sanders took over in 2022 and was shown the door, and now they brought him back. So why can't they bring back a guy who was just here last year, knows the system, is kind of proven, right? Has shown that like he can make some big plays given the opportunity. I think you bring him back. I don't think it hurts. If anything, it kind of shows like, hey, we don't hold grudges over here. That being said, I don't know if he's interested in Colorado, right? I don't know if Colorado's interested in bringing him back, right? Maybe they feel a little, I guess, scorned by the fact that he chased the bag. But I think in this day and age, if you're someone who's upset that a player leaves to get more money, I don't really know, like, I don't know where your thought process is. Like, I get it's upsetting that money's being tossed around so frequently. You could be upset with that. But for a young man to get a lot of money, possibly change his life around, or not change his life around, but change the trajectory of his life. I mean, he's got a kid, he's a young father, and maybe he just felt like that was a better opportunity. I believe he's a Florida native, so being in Virginia, a little bit closer to home. So one of those things where it made sense for him, right? More money, closer to home. It's hard to turn that down. So I think Colorado should bring him back. I don't think their running back room is where it needs to be. I'm not confident in this running back room and honestly, I think there's good players, and I'm not trying to say there's not. But until I see them produce, I'm not confident in this running back room because Colorado's yet to show us that, like, hey, they could do anything with good running backs. They have yet to show us that. Now, offensive lines have been generationally bad. That's going to be possibly an issue this year. We'll find out. They brought in, I think it's 7 new linemen with a possible 8th on the way. The UCLA transfer is probably another guy who could end up in Boulder. 8 possible new offensive linemen, not even counting the high school recruits. The run game should be better. Maybe that's your pitch to Isaiah. I don't know. But if I'm Colorado, I bring him back. I think he brings a lot to the table. And I mean, I won't say we all make mistakes because he didn't really make a mistake, but we all make mistakes. We all leave, right? It happens. Sometimes you don't know what you have until you lose it. You know what I mean? So when we come back, we're going to be talking about Travis Hunter, his legacy, where he ranks among all the best, the GOATs, the greats, the legends of college football. Welcome back to Locked On Buffs. I appreciate you guys for tuning in every single day, making me your first listen of the day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. So make sure to like, subscribe, follow. That way you don't miss out on a moment of the coverage. That way I keep my job. Let's run it up. I'm trying to get to 8,000 subscribers pretty soon here. I feel like we're creeping there. Let's get there. If you're new to the show right now, comment below, subscribe so I can say what's up. And let's continue this fun journey of covering the Colorado Buffaloes and the Deion Sanders era. So The Athletic, they released a ranking of the top 25 players since 2000, which is, for those of you who want to feel old, 1 year after I was born. I was born in 99. But yeah, they released a ranking of all the top players, and as expected, Travis Hunter was high. I didn't think he'd be this high, because I feel like there's a lot of people who were all up in arms about the jersey retirement and how soon it was, and so I was like, all-time players list, Travis Hunter will probably be towards the bottom. But I'll run you through some of the names. Some of them surprising, others not so much. 25, Quentin Nelson. 24, the Honey Badger. Tyrann Mathieu, LSU. Brock Bowers, 23. Sean Taylor, RIP. Miami, 22. Jaden Daniels, quarterback at LSU. Arizona State, 21. Aaron Donald, 20. Julius Pappas, North Carolina. He's number 19. Roy Williams, a safety at Oklahoma. Christian McCaffrey, 17. Running back, Stanford. Chase Young, thought he'd be so much better in the NFL, by the way. 16. Marcus Mariota. 15. I loved watching Marcus as a West Coast kid. Baker Mayfield, 14. Devontae Smith, 13. Andrew Luck, 12. Larry Fitzgerald, 11. Terrell Suggs, 10. Travis Hunter, 9th. I don't know if it's high enough, but the guys above it, I mean, it feels hot. It feels good because when you look who's above him, like, these are all-timers. So right above Travis Hunter at number 8 is Tim Tebow, who's arguably one of the best quarterbacks of all time. Ed Reed, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Joe Shiesty, Ndamukong Suh, Reggie Bush, and then the best player of all time is Cam Newton, according to The Athletic. Now, I firmly thought that Travis Hunter should have had his jersey retired. I called for about 2 months before it actually happened. I don't want to be credited with the idea, but I wouldn't be mad at it. No, I just thought, and I said this with a few people I had on because I was going through this, like, it was pre-Heisman trophy ceremony, and I was just like, honestly, Travis Hunter feels generational, right? There's not many players in my lifetime where I'm telling my fiance about, I'm like, hey, this guy, really good. There's not many players in my lifetime where I'm like, I'm probably going to tell my kids about him. And that's where it kind of clicked in my head. I'm like, am I witnessing a generational player? Am I like not even realizing it? And it's like I'm getting paid to cover the guy. Yes. Like I thought Travis Hunter was so dominant on both sides of the ball that he instantly cemented himself as a college football legend. And then you factor in, he won 8 major awards, the Heisman, the Blitnikoff, the Thorpe, or not the Thorpe, excuse me. Should have won the Thorpe. The Ben and Derrick Award. Like, he won every award possible. The Paul Hornung Award from his versatile player. Won every award possible. And I didn't feel like we were respecting it enough in a way. Like, I feel like there was, I don't know. And I feel like it's kind of like, it's going to turn dark for a quick second. I don't mean it to turn dark, but it's kind of like when someone famous passes away and then all of a sudden everyone's like, oh my gosh, I love their work when they did this. I loved, right, Nipsey Hussle when he did this. It was like, oh, he's a legend, right? When Kobe Bryant passed away, it was like, oh my gosh, the guy was the GOAT. He's in the GOAT conversation. And it's like, I don't feel like we do a good enough job of appreciating athletes in the present moment. It's like we always have to wait till it's too little too late. So I'm glad to see that Travis Hunter is getting his respect, getting his flowers for how great of a college football player was, because he genuinely was. I mean, when you look at this list, outside of Lamar Jackson, like all those guys in the top 10 are pretty old, right? They're all closer to the early 2000s than they are to the later 2000s. I mean, outside of Mariota as well, and like McCaffrey. But again, it's like Travis Hunter, he took the sport by storm. He's changing the NFL because he's playing both ways. And I don't know. I just feel like Travis deserves all the credit in the world. He's a legend. If you didn't know this, you should. And I'm glad that he's getting his flowers in these college football rankings, because it's not every day that someone so young, so freshly removed from the sport is actually given the respect they deserve. And I think Travis was given just that. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow. I will see you guys tomorrow. This has been another episode of Locked on Bus. If you're not subscribed already, make sure to do so, please.